Here I'm asked to calculate the total surface area of a triangular prism. In order to calculate the total surface area, I've got to work out the area of each of its faces and add them all together. Here on the front, I can see I've got a right angle triangle. In order to calculate the area of a right angle triangle, I know it's simply the base times the perpendicular height and divide by 2, because I know a right angle triangle is half of a rectangle. Here my base is 12 and my height is 5. Therefore, to calculate the area of the right angle triangle, I can do my base, in this case 12, times my perpendicular height, in this case 5, and divide by 2 as this triangle. 12 times 5 is 60, and 60 divided by 2 will give us 30. As the lengths are in meters, therefore my area will be in meters squared. As I have a front triangle here, I can also see that I've got another triangle, so therefore I'm going to have exactly the same situation. I'm now going to work out the area of the base of my triangular prism. I can see the base here is a rectangle. In order to calculate the area of a rectangle, it's simply going to be the length multiplied by the width. Well, my length of my rectangle is 12 and the width is 10 in any order. So in order to calculate the area of a rectangle, I can just do the length times the width. In this case, 12 multiplied by 10 will give us 120. Again, as the lengths are in meters, my area will be in meters squared. The next face I'm going to choose to work out is the area of the back. Here I can see the back of a triangular prism is once again a rectangle. In order to calculate the area of a rectangle, I know it's going to be the length multiplied by the width. In this case, the length of my rectangle is, in this case, 10, and my width of my rectangle is 5. In order to calculate the area of a rectangle, I know it's length times width. So in this case, I'm going to have 10 multiplied by 5, and 10 times 5 gives us 50. Again, as my lengths are in meters, therefore my area will be therefore in meters squared. The last face that I need to calculate the area of is my slope of my triangular prism. I should see that the slope of a triangular prism is once again a rectangle. In order to calculate the area of a rectangle, again, we know its length multiplied by its width. In this case here, I don't currently have the width of the rectangle, but I can see on the front face here that I've got a right angle triangle. As I'm given two sides and I want to work out the missing side, I can apply what we call Pythagoras theorem, i.e. a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The only important letter in Pythagoras is the letter c, and c is always the longest side, which is always directly opposite the right angle. As I'm finding c, i.e. the longest side, I can simply square the two shorter sides, add it together, and square root. In this case, my a can be 5 and my b can be 12 in any order. So substituting into my formula, I'm going to have 5 squared plus 12 squared, and that will give us c squared. As I want to find the value of c, I'm always going to square it at the end. Well, 5 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25, and 12 squared is 12 times 12, which is 144. 25 add 144 is 169, and the square root of 169 gives us 13. As my other lengths are meters, therefore my value of c is also meters. Therefore, I now know the length of c is 13 meters. Now that I have its length and its width, I can calculate the area of the rectangle of my slope. In this case here, I'm going to have a length of 10 multiplied by a width of 13. Again, to calculate the area of a rectangle, it's going to be length times width. In this case, 10 multiplied by 13, which will give us 130. As my lengths are in meters, my area is going to be in meters squared. As I want the total surface area, I'm now going to add up the area of the 5 faces. 30 add 30 is 60, 60 add 120 is 180, 180 add 50 is 230, and 230 add 130 gives us a total surface area of 360 meters squared.
Your turn.